8th of June 2023, and I just wanted to give you guys a head up on our visa situation. We were down there on the 1st, and my wife was okayed for the visa, and then we used the service. We didn't get it really anything from the embassy. Everything from information from the embassy came through the service. I had signed up for the email, so my wife could get an email, I could get an email. And then they said it was in the hands of LBC, and we had to go to a Bay City Mall in Batangas. Now that mall, if you ever go down to Batangas and you're a foreigner, you might not like it, because I sure as hell did. We had to go up to the second floor, no escalators working, crowded. It's a tiny, maybe 70s mall before they built big mega malls and stuff. It's just like a circular type building, and just people jostling you and bumping into you like crazy. But we went in, she had her 2 forms ID, and they were sticklers on it. They had a sign on, big signs all over the door, no mask, no entry. We didn't have any, and I just said, screw it, let's just go in. And they didn't say anything to us, nothing. They didn't mention the mask at all. My wife went right up. The lady was finished before us, and she went right up, and she has her visa. And it's a big glued-on stamp on one of the pages. It says United States of America, B1, B2. It's good till 2033. And so we got the 10-year, and it's the code there's a code on there that means she gets 6 months at a time, because I guess there's different ones. So we got that. So now that that's in our hands, we decided, okay, I saw a to-go boat. We couldn't get anything out of Batangas to get us to Cebu, and I saw a to-go boat that was leaving on like the 18th or something, and I thought, we'll get down there. Our flight's already taken care of. That's the 20th. So I thought, okay, there it is. So I went back to the site a day later, and I didn't book it because we didn't have a visa in our hand. So I wanted to wait until we had that. Well, guess what? It's booked. It's not there. So the next one there is, I think, was like the 11th. And so that would have been sitting down in Cebu for 9 days. And then they had one on the 14th, but all the like what you call, I guess you'd call it a stateroom, those were all booked. All those were gone. All there was the cattle area, where you got the 2 bunk beds and 500 people in that area, and everybody claims a bunk. And with 3 kids, I'm not going that route. And we tried to I got a site that kind of puts it together. I think it's BT Bus or something like that. They tie all your travel in the Philippines together. And guys, when you get to these sites, you're gonna just pull your hair out of your head. So we get to the site, I punch in there. You have to go day by day. You can't say, okay, this week, can you show me all what you have for this week? Nope. You're in the Philippines. They're not going to do that. You have to go pick the date yourself. Then you have to punch in. It's tough on the phone because they got a little arrow up and down, and if you hit it, it might go down or up. You never know what you're going to get. So you have to put that date in. You have to say boat, and then of course I want to do the hotel and all this stuff done in one shot. And then you get there and it shows flights because there's no boat that day. So then you have to go to a day before that, and you have to go through the same rigmarole again. You have to go to the stateroom, and they'll say, sorry, there's none available. Then you go down to the lesser one, and then you go down to the cattle car, and you have to go through all this rigmarole. And I'm talking, this takes 10 minutes each date. And this just the system you got. It's just horrible. And calling these people, to call them up and say, hey, can you help me out? I need, this week, can't call them. They're not going to answer. They just don't do phones here. They put a number up, but you're going to find out in this country, they don't really do phones. The other thing I found out when we came back from the from the LBC to pick up her visa. We got it in our hot little hands. Then we stopped at the immigration down there in Batangas. They can't help me with the ECC2 is what we need. Can't help me. He said the only thing you can do is you got to go up to Manila. And I said, okay, do I need an appointment for that? They don't know. The one hand doesn't know what the other hand's doing here. So we went through that rigmarole. So I'm going to have to go down there, and it's absolute 100% sure. It's $2,800, and I got to get it, right? Well, so do the kids. So all three of my kids got to get an ECC2 in order to leave this country. So that's going to be $2,800 a piece for them. I mean, they're just going to nickel and dime you to death here. So now I got to take a trip all the way up to Manila again. And of course, it can't be over 30 days. So I got to wait until the 22nd, 23rd, or 24th. The kids have to be there. Okay. So this is what you get here. Then the other thing that really got me, we're thinking, okay, we're going to have to go early. We're going to have to go way early and bite the bullet. Just say, oh, this is what we got to do. We'll have to stay up there for a while or something. We're going to figure it out. Well, the school gets out, this school here in this area, and guess what? We were told they get out the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, or the 14th. They don't know yet. So they don't allow you to plan anything here. They don't know. And I just shake my head. It's like when they took my boy out. He was going to school from 6, we'd leave at 6:30 and we'd pick him up at 3. Well, then they said there's no trees over the classroom and it gets too hot. So Dorothy's class goes the full day, but since Maddie's across the way in the sun, those rooms get too hot, so they're not using them. Well, when I go up there to get Mumu, guess what? Them classes are full. But they got my boy out. This is, you know, you start running into this stuff, and after a while, you just, you know, it's just no wonder that they just never seem to get ahead here in this country. I remember way back in the late 70s, I think of that Legends of the Fall where the Indian said, yeah, I was wrong about a lot of things. Me too, because I said way back then, man, this is the Tiger of the Orient. This place is going to take off. It's going to be an industrial center. It's really going to be something good. And they were building everything. They were putting up malls. The people were happy. The peso was 2 for 1. Their money was strong, and boom, it's going to be great. Boy, was I wrong about that one. So, and it's just not. Somebody said on there, yeah, it's a third world country. It's actually a developing nation, is what they call this. But must be that old 35 millimeter film, because it's not developing very quickly. You know, I was here all them years ago, and guess what? It's, you know, I think a lot of things happened too with the convent. You know, that I think that messed up every country, though. That's not just here. But these are all the hoops we have to jump through and know it. You know, here what's really funny is I see on here they're deporting another foreigner, you know, and he's going to get out. He didn't have the money, and his embassy's going to give him the money, and I guess he'll have to pay him back later, so he's leaving. But if you want to leave, they put obstacles in your way so you can't go. It's just constant. You got to get this now, you got to get that now, and one immigration doesn't know what the other immigration's office doing, and it's like, how you know, you just sit back and think, and they made it this far. To me, it just seems really tough. But this is, the guys, I'm not complaining. I'm going to jump through all their hoops and get this done. But just know that this is the way it is here. You come here, and it's there's so many. You know, they got to dot their I's and cross their T's, and it's all paperwork, and they want everything in triplicate. You know, no copies. You know, and they have you sign. If you go to sign something, you got to write your name in regular block text and then sign over it, and you got to do that 3 times. And then they look at me funny because my wife, if she does her signature, you could take it and do it on tracing paper and put it over 10 other ones and it's exact. It's like it's almost a stamp. That's the way they train them here. Well, my signature looks like a chicken with the palsy. Okay, it's not the same every time. They'd have to get a handwriting expert to say, okay, this little loop is like this one's like that. My wife's, it looks like it could be a forgery. Anybody sees that, they could just make a print of that online and stamp it on something, because that's the way they teach them here. But mine, like I say, it's a chicken with the palsy. I got this weird signature. It generally looks the same, but then I'll get into a place and I sign the damn thing 3 times and they say, oh sir, can you sign that again? This one doesn't look like that one. And I said, I'm a Westerner. It doesn't look the same all the time. You know, I see that when presidents sign stuff, they got this signature that looks all... I wasn't trained that way. I was not really good at the penmanship when I was a kid. It didn't interest me, and I wished it would have, but it didn't. And they didn't push me. So, you know, they pushed the girls and the guys. If you wanted to learn, great. If not, they just passed you anyway, because I can write. You know, like, but if I write letters, I don't write in cursive. I don't use the handwriting because it starts trailing off after a while. I start cutting corners and it doesn't look good. It's not pretty. I mean, if somebody was going to pay me to write a letter in cursive, I probably wouldn't make much. I probably owe them at the end of the deal because I just don't write well. I look at my wife's handwriting and my goodness, it's gorgeous. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you, baby? Oh, you just want a little bit of loving. My little shaky girl, and there's my little boomer. I had them out for their walk already. It's beautiful weather now. Yesterday when we were up in Batanga City, as soon as you went outside, like from the mall, you just immediately got sweat. It's so humid with the rain right now. The most humid that I've been in. And then, of course, we got back here and it was a little bit better because we always got a breeze here. And right now it's beautiful, but it's misty. It's going to be hot again tomorrow, I think. Well, today. It's already today, so. But we'll see how everything goes. I'll keep you posted on all the stuff. We're going to vlog whatever we get, you know, whenever we figure out how we're going to get from here to Batangas or Manila. The boats out of Batangas to go to Cebu are just almost non-existent. I think there's 2 in the whole month of July, and you have to go all the way up to Manila to Pier 4. And then it's funny, one boat will go to Pier 4 in Cebu, another one goes to Pier 1. We did find a Starlight boats, but my wife and I both agreed we're never going to go on a Starlight boat again. They're like the 1962 Volkswagen that ran around in the Northeast for the last 60 years. I mean, these things are absolutely the most horrible boat. The last trip that we took on that Starline, they had, when they would flush the toilet upstairs, the pipe had rusted through for the toilet, and they had a sock wrapped around it, and they'd flush the toilet and it would just spit water out. And down in the bottom where you park the stuff, they did tie the vehicles down really good. I was impressed with that. Those guys that were working down, because I'm watching that. You get a cargo shift and that ship's going over, so I was down there watching that, and they did a real good job. The guys working there did a fantastic job. But they have, where you look down, and they got these risers up about 3.5 feet, and then it's got a hatch on there. Those were open, and it's full of water down there. Pumps running like crazy. These things were just beat, a rusted hulk, and we take Montenegro usually to go to Califan, and that's a really good line. If you're going to travel from Batangas to Califan, that's your boat. They run a real nice ship. The boats are nice. They got twin diesels in them. They make it in really good time. And but the Starline, we only ever used them once. Well, I always say we used them twice, first and last, because I'll never go on those boats again. If that's the only boat, I'll swim. Thank you. They're just crap. And the boat we were on, the exact boat that we were on, that's the one that started on fire a way back. We were, we rode it out, and then we came back on a Montenegro, and then it was like a day or two later, the damn thing started on fire right before the port of Batangas and burnt all the hell. It was the boat we were on. So that's the kind of shipping company that place runs. I'm just be real wary. Look at the boats you're on. You don't hear too many boating accidents, with these ships and stuff. But when we got on it, I'm looking around. I'm going, Faye, I think we made a mistake. It's not looking good. So, but you gotta just watch out for that. The to-go boats that we wanted to take, those are pretty much. We can't get anything close to our date, and the airplane's locked in. That's already locked in. So we have to figure a way to get down there. And we're using these services too, guys. When you're using the service, unless you can call them and say, look, this is what I want. Find me something. Let them do it. Which I can't call them. Tried to call them. Phone rings and rings and rings. No answer machine, no nothing. It just rings. So, and it was still business hours, and the one number said it's a 24-hour call line. But the only way you can get to them is to text them, and it says right on there that you will receive an answer within 24 hours. Well, I need to know that we have this, because the boat that we had the other day that was scheduled to leave on the 18th, I didn't book it, and guess what? Now it's full. Now we cannot take it, and the only other thing we could do is we could go down on the dock and wait there, and then if somebody cancels, then they'll let us in. And it's like, I'm not taking that chance down in Manila at Pier 4. What are we going to do if we don't? So I don't like all these iffies when it comes to being here and getting things done. And there's the other way to go, is go to Califan, take a bus all the way down to Rojas, jump on the boat, take that one. We could do that. We could island hop and drive from the top of the island to the other. And that's actually doable, but it would take, I don't know, 6 or 7 days. I don't think so. And Tim said you want to definitely bring food on these boats. Well, we know you got to bring food on the boats. Even the Montenegro, all they sell is crackers and crap. They got a few things they cook, but you don't really want to eat it. And then Tim said on the to-go boats, he goes, I watched his video where he was filming the food, and it all looked like it was black. I'm looking at one, and there's the calandrella, and there's the chicken, and I'm like, which one's what? It looks like mulch or something out of a peat bog. So he was saying he highly recommends you bring your own food. So we're going to figure something out. We're working on it. We'll vlog it when we get there, but make sure if you're going to do any kind of travel, it says you can book these things 3 months out or whatever. You're going to need to do that. So there's one of them big damn spiders, guys. Okay, I hope you can see him. We got these things. They're in season again. He's probably a good 3.5 inches. They hide. They're super fast. I don't know what they call these, but they carry their eggs on their belly, and but they're super dainty. If you go to whack them with a slipper, if you miss, the breeze might break their leg. They're like super dainty, and when you pick up one, they're unbelievably. There's like no weight to them. I picked them up. They don't bite. They don't hurt you or anything. The heaviest thing on them is the egg sac, and when you peel that egg sac, they're nothing. They're hollow. We got one that my son caught. Oh, here he is. I wonder if he's going to run away. He's just a baby one. He's not even a big one, guys. See that? He's just a juvenile. So, but yeah, we've had him up. We had him upstairs. We had to eradicate him upstairs when we first got here, because there was just too damn many of them. you know, it was ridiculous. We saw at one time there was like 8 of them in the bedroom, and I said, we got to pull all this out and hunt them and kill them all. We blocked the doors and we hunted them until we killed them all, because I don't want a spider crawling on my face in the middle of the night. Sorry, I don't know about you, but I just don't. I wasn't into that. So we wiped them out. Now they're coming back. It seems every time they dig up a place, we get them. You know, we just seem to get them, and the mice too. You know, if you see the cats, you see them in here hunting in this grass here, and sure enough, they come out with a mouse. They're coming all the way from down bottom. My cats that are just here, they're not really mine. They're just here. They're lazy. They don't hunt nothing, but that calico one that used to live here, she comes up here and hunts. And you see her every day hauling a mouse away. She's got another litter of kittens down there. And of course, we've got a pile of dogs down there again. Puppies and stuff running all around. So that's an area. Not only do we got nails down there, but we got poo too. It's just like when I was in Carmona or GMA. This is going to turn into a poop neighborhood, because nobody picks up their dog poop. And I'm going to like it a little bit better when we're down the road. You know, we're going to have private school for the kids, and we'll do like maybe nip a hut until we get a house built. Something. That's just what we got to do, because I'm not enthralled with this area. Just not. Coming back from Batanga City yesterday, there was right when we got out of where we were going, we pulled out of the immigration, and there was a convoy of trucks coming. They must have just got off a boat. There was about 12 of them, and instead of picking the lane and all driving in line, they took up both lanes. So, and of course that's all for good ways, that's all uphill. So they were in second gear doing 15 to 20 tops, maybe third gear, loaded. You know, they're loaded with stuff that they're bringing from the provinces, and we had to sit behind them. You couldn't pass them because that road's kind of windy, and it was such a long line of trucks. I wasn't going to pull out in the oncoming lane because, you know, what if I meet somebody going around the corner? So we just had to resign ourselves to sit behind these dang trucks and go slow, and not one of them would move over to let you through. And then of course when we finally got away from them, because some of them jumped on the highway, some of them kept going straight, we got a chance to get around us, then we got tricycled. You know, we had tricycle drivers that would just ride in there and talk to each other and hand each other smokes while they're driving down the road, and at 20 kilometers an hour. So Batanga City's starting to get the creep. They're getting the creep from Lipa City. So it just seems to be, it's like a plague here when it comes to the driving. It's spreading. It's like a black hand. It's starting to spread over the whole area. And like I say, I'm not looking forward to going to Manila again. I'll probably maybe ride a bus. I know when I go back to pick it up. My kids are supposed to be getting stamped the day I pay them the money, because there's nothing for them to have. Me, I got to give them my paperwork, and then I got to come back a week later and pick it up. But when I go back a week later, I'll probably go on a bus or something, you know, and get that done. But I'll let you go. This is getting kind of long. And just some things that happen and things you should be aware of when you're doing all this. And if you're a foreigner and you want to leave, and if you got kids and they got a U.S. passport, they gotta have this ECC also. It's just, to me, it's a money gouge, because they're not going to check them for anything. The kids have no liability. They don't know this, they don't know that. They don't have the police coming after them for something, or a case or something. I guess if you have a case, you can't leave. You know, some of them they throw out, and some of them they just, if you want to go, they don't want to let you leave. So I'm going to let you go. Don't forget to pray for each other. Everybody seems to be doing really good. I talked to Doc a little bit. He's upbeat and looking forward to the trip, because he'll be making a trip to America. Just to visit little old us. I thought that was just really cool. Hopefully we can see some folks when we're out there, and I think it's going to be a good trip. I want these kids to have a trip of a lifetime. You know, because this will be it for a while. But once we get the rest of the money coming through, we should be in super fine shape. Super fine shape here. So I'm gonna let you go. Don't forget to pray for each other. And this is Rickshaw out.